smiling in your face, really trying to hurt you. That's why I spend my time in the winner's circle. I look ahead and all I see is hurdles. How you think I'm getting to the winner's circle? Hold it down, hold it down, hold it down for me. Hold it down, hold it down, hold it down for me. Hold it down, hold it down.
Hey, welcome to the Behind the Mic. And I am great to be honored to be the first one to do this interview from Behind the Mic. And like, if you guys don't know, this is not the singer. This is the person that does the singing, if that makes any sense. So without further ado, here is Jae Sam.
All right, here we go.
What's going on,
man? I'm so excited. So excited.
First of all, you know, the intro said, you know, you were an award winner and everything. That is so great. You know, we're gonna touch base on that, but
right.
you know, we're gonna do like the Scooby-Doo and go, go to your,
go all over the place. I'm with that.
So, you know, let's start first. You know,
Okay.
the year you were born and where were you born at?
Born in New York, 1992.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 1992. New York City, born and raised, never left.
So you were born towards where the technology was getting good.
Where it was getting good. It was
yeah.
probably around the era where, you know, the first cell phone was like a block, like a big brick.
Oh yeah. Hello. We had that big phone. So, hello.
Yeah, the big brick cell phone era.
Yeah. And you know, being in New York, us black and brown people, they're gonna ask.
Yeah.
Were you born with both parents, or you know,
how
does that work?
I was born with both parents. Yeah.
Wow.
I was born with both parents, my mom and my dad, and I was the third in their relationship. Between my mom and my dad, it's five.
Okay. Yeah, that's the minimum. The minimum of 90s down. Now the 2000s up, everybody happy.
Yeah, it's so crazy because it's like we're all stair steps. So it's what they call it, Irish twins. So we're born in the same year. So it's my brother, sister, 1990, and then me, 92, and then 94, 95, 98.
Oh wow. So you're like the middle one.
I'm right in the middle.
Oh, so you're like me, because I'm the third son, but I got three other sisters behind me. So I'm like the middle one.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, just outside of my mom and dad, my mom, she had three older ones before.
Oh,
and
wow.
One passed away as an infant.
Right.
So altogether it's about 8 of us.
That's good. It's a big family, you know. Having big families help a lot. You know, but then also it damages a lot because you gotta like, oh man, what? I only get one plate? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
That's exactly how it was. That's exactly how, because you know, growing up in the house, it was 6 of us. It was 6 of us. So we had to share a lot. We fought a lot. We argued a lot. But then at the same time, it was cool because we were each other's friends. You know, we never really had like the outside friends growing up. And things like that. We were each other's friends, you know. And of course, as we got older, you know, we all, you know, branched out and spaced out and got our own little lives and things. Yeah.
So, being in New York in the '90s, especially in the '90s, where it was like leaving the old and coming in with the new, if that makes any sense, it's like, you know, how does, you know, growing up in that, because, you know, I grew up in the 80s, you know, so in the 90s, y'all guys already touching what I already seen. So how is it that from a kid in the Bronx, you know, we're not rich, we're not poor, you know, we're like, I don't even consider us middle class, you know what I'm saying? We just don't know.
That's exactly what it was. We grew up in Harlem, and again, we didn't even know if, you know, we was rich or poor. You know, my mother, she did a really good job. Well, now I know that I'm older, that we had our struggles and everything, but we never knew it. We never knew it. So I think she did a really great job doing that. And yeah, she gave us like a really good childhood. She did her thing. She worked hard, and yeah, we had you know, a lot of happy times, and it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, I love those days, because, you know, people talk about middle class, but I'm like, just like you, when I was young, I'm like, I didn't really know we were poor, you know, until I realized, oh, so that's why she never really ate herself. She always had everyone else eat first.
Right.
So, you know, kudos to the parents from those days. Nowadays, they just microwave everything. But anyway, you know, but growing up in those days, before you even touched music, was there something else you used to do, like when you were young? Because when looking at you, you don't look like a music person. You look like either a bodyguard or you used to be a football player, you know, stuff like that.
I was really into art, like painting and drawing. And you ask me to draw something now, it'll look like stick figures or something. But honestly speaking, but I used to be like into art and painting and colors and drawing and things like that. Growing up, I was always dancing though. I'll tell you that much. I was always dancing, and besides the art and everything, I knew performing. That's something I wanted to do like early on. I'm talking Michael Jackson, Smooth Criminal, dancing at the family gatherings. My mom, get Johnny, I go, get Johnny, put the song on, and I'm doing the routine.
Parents always find that one talent, and then the kid has to perform it.
Every function. It was get Johnny out here, put on Smooth Criminal. I'm like, okay.
You didn't have the jacket or nothing, right?
No.
In the 90s, I don't think they did the jacket. I think they did it more in the 80s.
I just had my Superman T-shirts.
And that's it.
That's it. That's all I needed.
And you're the only one that used to perform when you were young?
At that time, I think it was around like 5 years old, 6 years old. Yeah, I was the only one. But then, later on down the line, my sister, she got in it. She was, creating dances for like the neighborhood block parties with her friends and things. And then I eventually fell into that, and I would dance with the girls and everything.
So she was more like a choreographer type?
Yeah. She was the original choreographer. My sister Shelly, we call her Stas, but she was the original choreographer in the family. Yeah, and I got in with that, and as time went on, she backed out away from it, and I don't know. I kind of kept it going.
Wow. So you're in school. I'm trying to think. Because you wasn't a small kid. I can't picture you as the smallest one in the school.
I was.
You was?
I was.
So you just had like a growth.
I just had a growth.
Wow.
I don't know. I guess my late teenage years, I just had a growth. Like I don't know where it came from, but I was a small kid.
Oh wow.
I was a small kid.
I think with me, I was like 125 to 130. For years. I think I hit 140 and I was happy. I was like, hey, no matter how much I ate. Right. And then after, so maybe it does happen. But in school, because in the 90s, everybody's trying to learn, the social media started coming out, and you're probably just dancing. Mm-hmm. How did that affect your childhood, like with your friends and stuff?
Well, my friends, they never really saw that side. For a while, I was kind of like embarrassed. I was kind of embarrassed because I was the only boy dancing with a group of girls, so it was, it was little things being said,
right,
and things like that. So, it will always kind of like deter me away from doing the dancing and everything. And I tried to fit in with them. I tried sports, and I sucked at it. Like I'm a horrible football player, basketball player. I'm horrible at it. So, I was just trying to do that and fit in with them and doing the video games with my brother, which I love still to this day, video games. And
I think everybody.
yeah. So that for a while, it kind of took me away from dancing because it made me feel like embarrassed and ashamed and things. So.
Oh wow, yeah. Because there's always something when a kid doesn't want to show, because the other friends don't do it. So how long did it take you to realize, what, I'm dancing, so I don't care, like,
It took me some years. I think maybe over 6 years, if memory serves me correct. But yeah, over 6 years, and I picked it back up. Before I took being an artist serious, before I started like really writing and taking that part serious. Just in my mom's living room with my sisters, and we just making up dances to random songs and just doing it, just dancing, just.
I don't know. All kids love to dance, but like you said, some of them do it professionally, some just do it just to nilly-willy or
right.
just to have some fun. But as a kid, because I felt like you were trapped, So how does like being trapped there, but then showing a smile, if that makes any sense, like
put it on a mask.
Basically,
put it on
that
mask.
Two-face thing.
It was difficult. And it took me a while, I want to say to my early 20s, until I realized that's exactly what I was doing, putting on a mask. Like, I just became so good at it, it became natural, you know, and up until, again, my early 20s, I'm like, oh, I was really just suppressing myself, you know, to fit everybody else's idea of me or what I should be or what I should be doing.
And what you should not be doing. You know? it happens, especially as a son, you want to make your friends and your family happy. At the same moment, it's not making you happy.
Right.
So, but they say like people where they hide their talents or they have depression or anything, they're great liars. You know, they're the best liars in the world because they can smile in your face and then go home and then you know, they're not themselves. They're sad and everything. So it's hard as a teenager, especially as a black male in New York City, compressing, you know, what I call, or the hiding your talents. Must have been hard.
Yeah, it was really difficult, and you know, through my whole teenage years, antisocial. I didn't want to hang out with my siblings and their friends. Didn't want to. I would lock myself in my room. I was just to myself. Didn't want to be bothered with anybody. Family gatherings would be happening. Hey, everybody. Hey, how's everything going? Hugs, kisses, and then I'll just go straight in my room and close the door.
Know how that feels. You know, because like I said, it's a couple of people when they have the depression or they have the hidden talent that they don't want to show no one. So it's somewhat combined together, you know, but it's a different course of getting better. You know, like a different way to go to get better. So now you're in junior high. Well, elementary, junior high, probably okay. But how high school? How you know, because you said in your 20s, so you had to be in high school still holding back. Yeah,
definitely still holding back. It's crazy. In high school, I was the exact same way to myself, antisocial. Like, I would sit there and eat lunch by myself and do my homework. I'll have a whole table to myself and I will scout for an empty table and I would just be like, all right, I'm just gonna sit there, out of sight, out of mind. I don't want nobody to bother me, you know, and it was sad. It was sad. I went to the same high school with my older siblings, and I remember my older sister, she snuck into my lunch period, and she's looking around, and she sees me at the table by myself, eating and just doing my homework. And this girl came, sat at the table, and started crying, like bawling eyes, because she felt so bad for me. And she was like, I don't want you to be by yourself, and blah, 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 and just crying. And I'm like, I'm okay. I'm like, I'm good. And I'm just looking at her like she crazy. But
some of the people don't understand the isolation sometimes is good, but then the isolation sometimes can tear you apart because now you got your two sides of you fighting to get out. But we're going to take a quick commercial break, and I want to talk about that. I want to talk about how you stood and tried to fight that one side of Johnny and that one side of Jae Sam. You know what I'm saying? Like, how did you fight? So we'll be right back, a little bit more from behind the mic.
The music you want to hear. You're listening to New York City's LDM Radio.
As mighty armies clash in a struggle for total domination, the scales can be tipped by one man who has the courage to confront his fate and make a choice that will decide the fate of the world.
This guy's put a lot of smoke in today. Wow. But anyway, we expecting a real superhero? I don't think so. The real life superheroes are the ones that are helping out in their community today. And the LDM show will be there to bring you the events and stories to life. Do you know a real superhero? Let us know. But for now, follow us on Instagram and Twitter and like us on Facebook. Also visit our websites for photos, videos, and updates. But until the meantime, hey, I gotta be out of here. Welcome back, and we're here again with Jae Sam, and this is Behind the Mic. And before the commercial break, you spoke about your high school time and your thing. But I want to talk a little bit about more when you were in high school, how you broke off from your real, Johnny and Jae Sam. How does it feel like to trap that inside?
It didn't feel good. It didn't feel good. I knew I was like depriving myself of, what they say is the great high school experience, the friends and the parties and things like that. I know I was depriving myself of that, but I just felt so comfortable just blocking everybody out. And it was like that through high school in its entirety. I didn't really, that other side of me, the Jae Sam side of me, didn't really come out until after high school.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Well, that's kind of hard, and overall, I'm glad it came out. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad it came out. But in high school, you're doing all this stuff. Was you trying to write songs back in those times?
I was. It was my senior year. That's when I decided. I'm like, I think I'm really I want to get into music and stuff. It's a thought I always had. Going back dancing Smooth Criminal in the living room, and then picking up the dancing with my siblings and everything. And I always had that idea. Always flirted with the idea, but now I know my senior year, and I'm like, I think I'm really gonna push for this, and and I just took my time, just writing. Started writing poems, and my neighborhood Boys and Girls Club in Queens. They noticed me writing my poems, and they gave me a whole bulletin board. Yeah. And it was called Johnny's Words.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was called Johnny's Words, and I would write poems, and they would tack it on the bulletin board, and people would come in and read it. I'm like, oh wow, this is good. I didn't know you write poems. I didn't know you do. Yeah, so that's how then the poems turned into
lyrics and stuff.
To lyrics, yeah.
Okay. So I know you're open with your sexuality and stuff like that. Let's touch base on that. Now you're trapped. You got Johnny or Jae Sam want to come out, but then you have your sexuality that is trapped. I'm assuming in the beginning it's trapped because no one just says, hey, you know what? And then tells the family everything. Right. You're like, now you're fighting 3 type of people. Right. How did you do that? Because looking at you now, I'm like, this guy was strong to trap all 3 of them.
To this day, I don't know how. I don't know how I did it. Wow. I just, early on, I just kept my head down and just kept moving forward. I didn't really think much about it. Right. If that makes sense. It's like, in my mind, I knew it was something, but I never really gave it thought or energy. So it's not so much that I was hiding who I am out of fear or anything. Right.
It was more confusion, like you didn't know.
Not so much confusion. I don't know. I'm trying to,
Yeah, no, it's a hard thing.
It's a hard thing
I can't tell you how you feel because, I never felt that, but the way you're describing it is maybe, I don't know, I can't say compressed because it wasn't. Or maybe it was. It was just there, but you never realized. It was there,
but exactly. Right. It was there, but I never really, let me open this box and right. It was never that.
So. You're more like the Johnny part and the
I was more the Johnny part. Yeah, that's exactly what it was, and it wasn't so much. I guess it wasn't because I wasn't ready to tap into that or open that box or explore that. So I'm just kept going and doing.
It's like a lot. Our fathers and grandfathers, basically black and brown fathers and grandfathers, they had depression when they were young, but they never put mind to it because they was not supposed to or something like that. And then when they got older, that's why a lot of the older men commit suicide because of that. So it's not like they didn't know. It's just they didn't put mind to it.
Right.
Until that one spark of a moment said, "Wait, you know."
Yeah.
So, So what was your spark? What was your thing that said, "Oh, wait a minute, this is not really me."
Oh, I can't. I don't think I could pinpoint the exact moment, but I know I started, tapping into the box and exploring, and going online and talking to other people and having conversations. And it wasn't until I was 20, 21 maybe. And that's when I started, like exploring with that. I think 21 is when I started doing everything. Like I never had a drop of alcohol until I was 21, and it was never a plan like I'm gonna wait to 21 and then I'm gonna start wilding out. No,
Right.
it was just 21. I started drinking and exploring that and stuff, and marijuana. I don't know if I can say that, but.
The herbs.
The herbs, there you go. Yeah, I started exploring with the herbs and talking to people who identify with me, and and I can't pinpoint the exact moment when it started. I just know it started.
It just snuck up, right?
It just snuck up.
Yeah, it happened, especially when I spoke to a lot of people from the LGBT, and they said the same thing. Like some of them knew. But some of them, it says like they snuck up. Like I guess they didn't pay a mind to it, or they were trying to fight it, and then that one moment they couldn't do it no more. So, now when you found out, like when you were 99% sure, because until you're 100% sure is when you want to come out to the family. Right. Like how did you come out, and how did they react?
Well.
Who was the first one that you told? Matter of fact,
my sister Davina. She was the first one I told. But it's so weird because we laugh at me and my family, my siblings. We laugh about it now because they always say, "Oh well, we kind of knew already."
You know what? Not to cut you off, but I was talking to someone, and like I said, we did interviews with LGBT, and all of them pretty much say, "You're the last one to know, and you're supposed to be the first." You know what I mean? Like the families are. I knew, boy. But a lot of people think, I don't know, I don't want to come out to them because I'm scared. And they don't realize that some of the family members pretty much already knew. Right. They were just waiting for you,
Right.
So it's true.
No, it's crazy. My sister Davina, she was the first one. She was the first one I told. And I don't know what it was. I just blurted it out. I just blurted it out, and I lied. I do know what it was, because I met the person who I'm with currently to this day.
Right.
I met them, and things was going great, and all lovey and things like that. So I guess that was kind of the catalyst for me to just like talk about it openly with my family, and I just blurted it out because I'm like I don't care who gonna whip my ass. Who gonna do something? that was your thought. That was my thought. It wasn't
like it or don't.
Yeah, I'm like, because I'm loving who I am at this moment. I'm writing and I'm performing and I'm in love and I'm exploring different things. Roaming the city and all these little adventures, and I just felt so like amazing and free and. So I'm like, yeah, this is what it is. This is what it is. Yeah, so what? What you want to do? What you want to say? That's kind of what my energy was.
And then you just, like you said, her reaction was like a smile or a laugh? Or?
Yeah, she laughed. She was like, she's going to laugh.
Oh my God.
She was like, oh my God, all right, so who do you think is cute? Do you like this singer? I'm like, okay, too soon. Too soon.
Pump the brakes, right?
Pump the brakes.
No, but sisters are like way open because now they have someone else. They have another person that they can talk to, and they get both sides of the version.
Right.
Because like my cousin was telling me, he was like, "Well, you think I always hang out with my female cousins, And they loved it because they get both sides of the, the steps. Now, brothers are different. How did your brothers take it?
To be honest, it was more of a, oh yeah, we knew, but I didn't care too much about how they felt, honestly speaking. I love y'all dearly, but at that time I didn't care too much about you know, how they felt. You know, growing up with so many siblings, you know, kids is kids, teasing and making jokes. So it was always little side jokes and stuff growing up and everything. Because, you know, they always said, oh, we kind of figured, you know.
Oh, so they were trying to make you open
So they was always like making little jokes and little, you know, little
knickknacks.
Yeah, like so I didn't care too much. Yeah, I didn't care too much.
Like again, you know, I always bring my cousin up for a sample because, you know, he came out when he was older, and everybody was like, yeah. We play G.I. Joes, you play Barbie. We knew. You know what I'm saying? You're like, we knew. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't know, you know, until it sparked that little spark, and then he had to tell everybody. Everybody was like, okay, you're like a decade late, but okay. Which is good because the family wanted you to do it. Wanted you to be there. And they didn't want to be, you know, pushing you, and then if they were wrong, they were like, okay, we were wrong. You know?
Absolutely.
So, which was a good thing. So you have your sister. If people don't know, sisters, brothers, and parents, different reactions altogether. Even a father and a mother. Right. Mother's more caring. The father's more like, what? What's going on? Yeah, hey, you know what I'm saying? So, what was the two different reactions between the parents, if any?
My mom, she was super cool. Cause you know, my uncle, God rest the dead, he was I think trans, I believe, and she had a lot of friends who were gay and who were bisexual, you know, who all sides of the spectrum, basically. So she was cool about it. She was like, oh, I just randomly said it to her, we were leaving Family Dollar. And I'm like, oh yeah, Mom, I'm such and such. And she, oh, okay, all right. I'm like, good. I'm like, cool. Oh. So do we need to get anything else from the store? Like
it was like, yeah.
That's it.
Oh, wow.
And that was it.
See, when parents do that, it's like, wait a minute, why didn't tell me earlier? You know what I mean? It's like they already pretty much knew. Especially mothers. Mothers can feel that, you know. Fathers sometimes feel it, but they just like, no, you know, the machismo come out of them sometimes.
I don't even think I told my father myself, actually. I don't even think I told them myself. You know, my siblings, my family, they do a lot of the...
Right. You just said that one.
I'm sure it got to him, but again, I didn't care how he felt. And, you know, now I'm saying it, it's like I had so much animosity towards the men, like my brother, my dad, you know, I'm like, I don't care.
There was probably signs there, but you said, they were more caught up in I want to dance and how to stop that from people to see it, which, you know, if you look back, you probably were like, wait a minute, yeah, I did this and I did that. Normal guys would not probably do it and stuff like that. You felt more comfortable in one area than the other.
Exactly.
But again, a lot of people, they won't see it, you know, but the family do. What they call that? The person looking inside from the outside. Right. You know, so they do. But it was great. You know, you opened up and everything. But when, let's get back, because you just said you met the person that you still currently with. How did that come about?
Met at a party. I'll say that. Met at a party, and we were just friends and just, you know, just kicking it. And he inspired a lot in my adult life. A lot with me being open and being secure with myself. Like I owe it to that person, you know, just being in their company and you know, going on different adventures that, you know, because years before I was locked in my room all the time. So now I'm out and about. I'm gallivanting all over New York City. Oh, you know, so it was just those experiences and just the conversations, and, you know, he always had that belief in me, you know, and I saw how he was so comfortable and so free and say whatever he want, and I seen all the love and his surroundings, his friends and things, and friends of all different sides of the spectrum, and I'm like, wow, I want to be like that. I want to get to that point. Right. You know, so just having those conversations and having those adventures like that's what inspired me to really be secure.
Which is good. Like they always say, if you have that one person that has something that you probably want, it helps because it builds you guys both up together. So again, that was a great thing. But you hit high school, you started writing, and you met this guy. then you tell your family. So everything looks like it's coming in grounds or in a circle, like I was saying. But you first have to introduce them to your family.
Right.
How was that?
It was cool. It was cool. It was I guess very early on still when, you know, because I eventually moved out from my mom's and I moved in, and because we was just friends early on, you know, so we became roommates. And just on a train, I'm with my siblings on a train, and we going past the stop, and I see him, and he getting on the train. I'm like, oh, that's T right there.
Yeah.
And so I think 2 of my sisters met him first, and then, you know, I think a month or 2 later, then my mom came over for the first time. Yeah, and we hung out, we watched music videos, had Popeyes. It was just like a little gathering. Yeah, and it was cool, and it was really fun. It was really exciting. I wasn't nervous though, so I wasn't nervous.
Well, you had that I don't care attitude. So like, if you have that I don't care attitude, you won't be too nervous,
right?
Because you're like, you know what? If you like him, you don't. I still like him, so you know.
And it was exciting because I moved out, so this is the first place I ever lived without my parents or my siblings. So I was more excited, like, come see my house. And,
See how I'm doing.
See how I'm living.
I did the deficit. I'm moving on up, boy. Don't play with me, you know. But it's a great feeling when you can do that, and then you can have someone to share, and your family gets along with that person.
Absolutely.
It's always that. If the family don't get along, even though you don't care, it still makes a bridge between. And
it makes it a little difficult.
Yeah. So, which is great. And then him being from another race and everything, it's sometimes they're like, you couldn't get a brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but it didn't happen that way.
You know what's so funny? All of my siblings are with someone of Hispanic descent. Like,
oh, so it's just in the blood.
It's just in the blood. It's just in the blood. It's so crazy.
Yeah, and I met your family. They are so funny. You know, I met them twice.
Right.
And they make everyone feel enjoyable. And, you know, like if you're in there, they had that feeling like if you're in the circle and you have problems, don't bring it. Just bring your smiles and bring your laughter, you know? So they make you forget your issues that you're going on, which those are the type of friends and families you want to be with, you understand? Because it carries on. And I'm like that. I'm like, once you hit my studio, leave your problems out there, blah, 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 you know? And I always say, you're part of the family once you step in. And
that's exactly how it is.
You know, you're living proof. You stepped in that one interview a year and a half maybe ago, and now you're here behind the mic.
Right.
3-time award winner.
Yes.
You know, so crazy. Now, if you think about your whole, from the beginning to now, would you have changed anything that you could have like, you know what, I could have done this probably a little bit better, or?
I always used to say that I wish I would have been more open and secure with myself early on in my early years, but nah, I feel like everything happened for a reason, because I love exactly where I am at this moment in life, and changing anything in the past, it will alter that, you know? So it's like, hey, it had to happen this way for me to be here, for me to be who I am right now, you know, and to love myself right now and be this happy. So there's nothing I wouldn't change at all, nothing.
We're going to take our last commercial break, but when I come back, I want to talk to Jae Sam about the downfalls, because you said you started of 20, but you didn't really make it until now. So there has to be a downfall somewhere in there, and we're going to chip in away and find out a little bit more about Johnny, a.k.a. Jae Sam.
Hey everybody, I'm Lil D.
I am Javier Luis.
I'm Alex Polanco.
I'm Apollonia Cruz.
And I'm Kelly Cooper.
I am Shirley Phillips.
I am Emmanuel Anzule. Do you know 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence
During their lifetime.
And domestic violence and abuse can happen to anyone,
regardless of gender, race, or other factors?
2 out of 3 homicide cases are
Females who were killed by a family member or intimate partner.
As domestic violence victims, they face high rates of depression,
sleep disturbances,
anxiety,
flashbacks, and other emotional distresses.
And without help, witnesses of domestic violence are more vulnerable to become abusers themselves,
thus continuing the cycle of violence in the next generation.
Hello, I'm Charles Laloma. Join the LDM Network and Safe Horizon and take a step into changing these facts. So if you are or know someone that is being abused, please call the City Domestic Hotline at 1-800-621-4673. So that is 1-800-621-HOPE.
Speak up,
speak out,
and make a difference.
And just know that you don't have to deal with this alone. There is help.
She's so fake. She's such a slut. You can see the layers on her face. Look at her chicken legs. Oh my god. How short is that skirt? I can't believe she'd even put that on. Is that her dress? It's not even on her hardly. It's not even covering her up. It's actually disgusting. Oh my god. How can she do her hair like that? I don't even know how this girl has friends. I saw her talking to Holden the other day. Who does she think she is? I bet she slept with the whole football team. She's not even pretty. She's gained so much weight. She looks like a cow. Such a good idea. Watch this. You're good. Oh my god, that's so funny. You gotta post that. I got an idea. Pass this.
All right, welcome back to Behind the Mic with Jae Sam. And, we touched base with you from the beginning. We learned a lot about you. High school. I didn't even think that you were a loner in high school. I thought you were, popular. But we learned something. That's what Behind the Mic is. But now, let's get a little bit about when you decided to start writing till now. Right. Were there any time in that life that you just said, it's not going to work because I'm not going to do this?
I had that thought, I want to say like 2 or 3 times a year leading up, started out performing. I started performing in my neighborhood Boys and Girls Club, and they will do like an annual fashion show, and I will be performing on the stage, and and everybody's like, whoa, I didn't even know, like, you're so quiet, you're so reserved, I didn't know you can dance, I didn't know you could perform, and things. So it's, it started going there, and it stayed stagnant for a couple years, and I couldn't get any other gigs or anything. So I did have that thought early on, and then, I started doing Red Hook festivals, and I rented out a bar and did a concert, and, it came in waves. I would be doing amazing. I'll be riding the high, so amazing. I'm performing, and then it will be a slump, and I would just get like depressed, and I'm like, I feel like I'm wasting my time. I'm never gonna make it, and then I would just get this resurgence again, and I would just go, and it would just crash again.
Now, what do you think made it crash versus making it rise up?
I think I was just in my head. I was just in my head, always doubting myself. I don't do it now, but what I used to do, I used to, have tunnel vision, and then I would, look over and see what this artist is doing, and, they're all the way up there, and I'm like, damn, and I would just doubt myself all the time.
Yeah, I think everyone done it. I did it myself through the whole, and then I lost base of what my teacher used to tell me, and he always just says, don't worry who's in front of you, just worry what you're doing now. Because if you're worrying about the person in the front, like I hear many people, oh, well, Tyler Perry was, in his car and he made it. So what do you mean? You're going to go in your car, live in your car too? You can't do that because that was his life. So, in other words, not to look at someone else's life or their quick journey. Right. Because sometimes a quick journey is a faster fall. So, if your time is your time. I always believe it's when you are able to do it, or when fate says, okay, now is your destiny to do it. So, but what made you come out of the slump? What key things happened?
I would just go on an adventure. You know, like if I'm down or I'm depressed or I'm in a slump, all my creativity is shot. I can't write. I can't think of nothing. I can't make a routine. I don't even have the will to, you know, push myself to get a gig or anything like that. So what I would do, I would just go on an adventure, you know, take a flight, go to Orlando, or you know, hit Times Square. Just do something fun, and I'll get that inspiration, you know, to write about it, and it will just happen. It will just start going again. Like the wheels will just start turning and turning and turning.
Yeah, maybe you just needed that break, that one little segment break. It happens, like I said, it happens with artists, any type of artists, drawing, singers, performers. I think even business people like myself will have that little I can't think no more slump or I give up type of thing. But something happens to push on.
Right, so, and I think it was just me, you know, looking over and looking back, seeing what everybody else is doing, and stop my wheels, you know, and then I was, you know, so again, it's being in my own head, and that's self-doubt.
We call it, well, I used to call it, and my teacher used to call it, the dizziness of life. You know, when you're doing this, you're getting dizzy, and your life, you can't even see it because it's all swerving around. And so that one moment you say, you know what, forget them, put the horse pad on, and look straight. Your life starts getting straighter and focused, not dizzy. So that's probably, you know, something to look forward to any time that it happens. Now, besides your boyfriend at that time, but now you winded up, you know, hitting that next step. How does that happen? You know, like, because you know your son, he's a roommate. You know.
Oh man, yeah, that was a.
And then it jumps. Like, did you before you thought, like, who proposed first?
I think we both. Did.
Like,
I think we both did. We talked about it a lot, and it was like, oh man, he won't be so mad. But it was so long ago. But I know it was one of the conversations that happened, and then we was just like, yeah, let's do it, and it was just that.
I think those are the best ones. Like, you're just having a conversation, like, you know, hey, you know, well, it would be funny if we to get married. Why? We should, right? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you know.
Yeah, it was definitely a conversation. It was definitely a conversation.
Now, besides the mom, because I know the mom will go crazy as soon as she finds out you're going to do this, you know, how the siblings, like, reacted? Like, did they say it was about time? Or?
They was excited. They was happy. Yeah, same thing with mom. They love him. So it came easy. You know, and you know, being together for so long, it's like, shit, you might as well, like, you know. So it was.
You're reaching the common law, right? Common law marriage, might as well. You know, you know, sheep of the keeper. No, but it's a good thing to have family based, friends based that are for it. You know, like, helps you out, which help you even better. Do you think, like, with all the things that were going, hitting the right puzzle parts helped you?
Yeah, I would say that. You know, it would be so weird how it would work. You know, like music and you know, that career, it would be good, and then, you know, there will, you know, all relationships have problems and things.
Oh yeah.
So then, you know, my personal life, it would be kind of in shambles and stuff, and so it would be. It was always one or the other, and it never really clicked. You know, like together, it never really clicked. So up until recently, I feel like things are so much better. Like, everything is aligned, and I think that's what helped me, you know, keep my focus and keep going. I dropped looking over, seeing what everybody's doing, and I just focused on me professionally and personally. And I've just been on that ride for like a good 2-3 years now, and And here I am.
You say perform now you're entering the performing. Was it an accidental thing that you started performing, or from high school after school?
No, it wasn't accidental. It wasn't accidental. I knew I wanted to. I knew I wanted to. Yeah, because what came with the poems, you know, it turned into lyrics, and I threw some beats behind it. And something I always do, one of my favorite pastimes is I watch concerts. Like, I watch concerts all the time. So I would study and look how they're doing this and how the formation is with that. And then I would, you know, piece it with my music. And I'm like, oh, that'd be cool if we did this. And then me and the girls, we would just start rehearsing in my mother's living room. Because when you have no money for a dance studio,
you move the sofas over.
And we were just getting it 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
And we would be rehearsing and start performing.
Yeah, I remember those days. Like, you better put the sofas back. You know, because being brought up, I was in the martial arts, but you know, I didn't. Nice. I couldn't be outside all the time, so we used to practice in the living room. So I know how that feels. So, you know, but you know, you said the girls. When did you bring the girls into your act?
Oh, since the very beginning. Oh, they've been there since my very first performance. They was there.
Wow.
They was there, and my very first performance was in June 2012. That was my first performance. Yeah, and they was there, and you know, we had like some bumps along the way. You know, me and Gina and stuff, love her, but you know, it was, I guess it was like just growing, you know, growing pains, and we would fall off, and then we would get back together, fall off, get back together, and things. So, but yeah, well, we stayed together, and we performed for years, and yeah, I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be more excited and proud.
So, which one was the first one that joined you?
Damn.
And were these friends like from school or?
I never said this before. Okay, I never said this before because a lot of people don't know, and I had a reason, you know, and we talked about it. They are my sisters.
Okay.
Okay. I don't say, oh, these are my sisters. I wanted them to have their own individuality. You know, and that's something we always talked about. You know, of course, friends and family, they know we're in relation and everything. But I just wanted them to have their own individuality because they, at the time, Kat, she was an aspiring artist, and Gina, she was an aspiring artist as well.
Now, Kat was the youngest one, right?
No, Gina's the youngest one.
Okay.
Yeah. And Gina's doing modeling, and you know, Kat, she was started her own makeup line, and she was dancing. She was dancing, and she was an inspiring artist. So I wanted to give them that you know, I didn't want them to be, you know, linked to me. I wanted them to have their own, come into their own individuality. So
which is good, even in your performance when you you know, you announce them and they dance, and that gives them their own, you know, opportunity, and which I. You know, when I seen you perform, I was like, okay, you know, you pushed away and you let them do their one solos each, you know. So, which as an artist, many artists don't do. Right. So that was a good thing, you know, to keep them separate like that.
Yeah.
So now you're saying they are artists themselves. So are they continuing to try to be, or?
At the moment, I'm not 100% sure at the moment. But I have had them on. I have a song with Gina, and I have a song with Kat, and another good friend of mine, Jinx, came out about 5 years ago. So, yeah, I gave them, you know, the opportunity. We made some music, and it showed that I believed in them, you know, and you know, that's more important. I wanted them to have their own thing, you know, their own appeal, you know. So that was one of the reasons. So it's not like I was hiding it,
right?
You know, I don't want people to get that confused, but. Wasn't hiding it at all. It was just something they
are part of history. Yeah, they became part of history too, because they, you know, hey, we were the background dancers for the award winner, you know, so it helps as well. So, you know, but you know, we fast forward. We're running out of time. We're fast forwarding it. Now you became an artist, but before you became an artist, you found a station. And you put your music on. Right. Now, I don't know how you found it, but I just know that you put your things on, and then I met you on Apollonia's thank you party. And I tell the story to everybody because I was just sitting there and I hear the name Jae Sam, and I'm like, why does that name sound familiar? But we have hundreds of people that come into the radio station, and I'm like, and my wife was like, ain't that the guy that sings the song? He's been on top one. And then when I had a look at top, I'm like, yeah, that is him.
I remember when I met you at Apollonia's Bronx Pride 2019. That's when I met you, and after I performed, you gave me a card. You gave me a card, and I put it in my wallet. And I want to say, fast forward 2 years later, 2021.
Yeah.
I was cleaning out my wallet because I got a new one, and I found the card, and I'm like, oh shit! Sorry. I was like, oh crap! I forgot all about this card. I'm like, okay. And of course, I've seen several artists that I follow on social media. They, talk about LDM and everything. So I'm like, yeah, I'm doing new music now. I'm gonna get it to radio and see what happens.
Again, it's when it's supposed to happen.
Right.
I always tell a lot of people that it's not when you want, it's when it's supposed to happen. Because a lot of people I met years ago, and then all of a sudden I meet them again at a certain point of our life or their life, and it works. So it's when it happens. But now you wind up being a nominee of the station, right. And I know like everyone else, they had to watch it on TV to find out they are a nominee or on the screen. Did you watch it by yourself to find out, or?
No, I watched it with T. With T, and we were sitting there, and we were on our phones and just looking at it and just nervous because you campaigning for so long.
Yeah.
Better part of a year. So just looking, name came up and just over the moon.
Which many of the stories I love when people see themselves, and it is one of the longest voting areas, and we do it that way for people to work hard for what they want to get. And then fast forward, you won not one, not two, but 3 awards at the same day, which I never heard the award ceremony go so loud. It was like, I look back, it was like at least 80% of the people were your people. So they was like, win or lose, they were going to be there.
They was going to show up. Yeah. And one of the things that felt so good about it, because one of the slumps that I talked about early on was me thinking it's not going to go nowhere, or I don't have a lot of support, or people supporting me and letting me know like I did early on. So I thought a lot of people checked out. So, and when it happened in the voting, and then getting in the top 10 and then getting nominated, it was just like, whoa, like they still here, like everybody's still here, and that's what was emotional for me with all of it.
You'd be surprised when your music is good, you have people even voting that you never even heard of or never seen, which was the great thing about the whole voting system.
Right.
So around the world, people was like, yeah, I knew he was going to win, and blah, blah, blah. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's a good thing. Now, you're back to being Jae Sam. So it's all out and everything. Right. What you going to move forward from here?
So I was just talking about this. I'm actually going to begin writing my first ever short film. I'm going to step into that. It's definitely going to be more music. I'm in a much better position now, so I can bring some visuals to the new album Armenia. Bring some visuals and start writing a short film I'm excited about. So that's what I'm looking forward to at the moment. Definitely.
Well, thank you for being here and opening up, to the world like this. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, I can't say just Jae Sam. I got to say award-winning Jae Sam, the artist.
That's right.
This was Behind the Mic. I'm Charles Laloma, and check out more Behind the Mic with other artists. See you next time.
All right.
Adios. I do this music straight to my dad. It's that time I get back in my zone, and I'm not coming back alone. Yeah, this that energy we chose. Now watch how this about to go. bleeding over. The stage is bleeding over. The stage is bleeding over. I remember they were saying that your boy too PG. Now your boy went a little too rated R, and I'm still keeping motherfuckers cheeky. And I do this still when I tap in. You know I still got the shit like Fiji. And it really doesn't matter what they say or do. It's that time I'ma go ahead and beat me. Now do you want more? Do you want more? Yeah, they want more and he want a real tour. Yeah, a real tour? Yeah, a real tour. I pray to God that they keep score. Cause then ain't never gonna be another detour. My tears stay. My sweat keep. My love just. My blood keep pouring. My tears stay flowing. My sweat keep falling. And my love keep soaring. This is never over, it's true. Because I'm getting older, says who? Now I am the controller, it's true. The stage is bleeding over, fuck you. Yeah. 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 The stage is bleeding over, fuck you. It's that time I get back in my zone, and I'm not coming back alone. Yeah, this that energy we chose. Now watch how this shit about to go. It's that time I get back in my zone, and I'm not coming back alone. Yeah, this that energy we chose. Now watch how this shit about to go. Here for the flex and I got a jet. I don't fuck around when I do the music shit to the death, and I bleed every set. And I do it and I do not even see any checks, but I get the respect from who? See, I hit all the prize by suppressing mine till I'm like, yo, what that do? For a nod for some homies who don't even have the decency to come see what you do. I've been dancing all around in the town, niggas really just don't have a clue. I rap, dance, produce, and if I was a clown like shit, I hate me too. Tough love.
Hello, Jae Sam. It's Todrick Hall. I just wanted to send you this to say congratulations. That's so iconic and so legendary. Thank you so much for representing me so well. It's truly an honor. I hope that you are as flattered and as honored as I would be if I were in your position. And I hope to see you in New York City. Break the leg.
Make some noise, LDM.
He saved my life, y'all.
Play my song and bought me one more night.
I got one more night.
Till tomorrow, all my problems out of sight.
Tonight's the night.
Yeah, tonight, let's go, DJ save my life. Make some noise. Hey, come on. Yeah, tonight. Hey. Willa, bring it back home, rewind. I pick up my leg up, pull me up a wine.
Baby, hold it down for me. Haters smiling in your face, really trying to hurt you. That's why I spend my time in the winner's circle. I look ahead and all I see is hurdles. How you think I'm getting to the winner's circle? Hold it down, hold it down, hold it down for me. Hold it down, hold it down, hold it down for me. Hold it down, hold it down.